What to do when your spouse dies. And so it's so important that you have a checklist of things that you should be looking at should you lose your loved one, your best friend, your co-pilot, right? And so next we're going to talk about financially. I want to make sure, and this planning, Tommy, should have been done in advance if you think about it, meaning we're going to talk about financially. I want to make sure that that survivor, the widow, widower, is taken care of financially. That's why it's important that you have a financial plan.
Right, and it's, all the pieces come together. You're going to lose some of the Social Security benefit. You got to review pensions. You got to combine your accounts, figure out what the budget looks like moving forward with one income and one set of expenses.
Right.
And so it's important to hopefully you've laid all those things out together. Just you'll never know exactly what it looks like, but have an idea of what it looks like. Then you can plan better for that.
Absolutely. So one of the items on the checklist that we talked to is if you are on your deceased spouse's plan of some sort through the employer, I would make sure that your benefits are first taken care of because health insurance is a big one. Now, if you're on Medicare, Medicare is individual insurance, so you'll have your own Medicare plan, so you don't have to worry about that. You would obviously want to cancel the supplement if you have a supplement, for example, of the spouse that passed away. But we want to make sure that you have health insurance taken care of, number one. Once that's taken care of, Tommy, let's move on to income. You just said something that's very important. Social Security. So for a couple, the survivor or the widow or widower is going to get the higher benefit when it comes to Social Security. But what you just said, the lower benefit is gone. No matter how you look at that, Tommy, that's still a loss of income.
It is a loss of income, and depending on expenses, most kind of fixed expenses are probably going to stay similar. So that is a loss of that lower Social Security benefit, which is one of the reasons why we talk about why would, if we run into people who are both looking at claiming early, is there a way to maybe delay, let one benefit grow, if that's 65 or 67 or 70, but let one benefit grow just to keep that bigger survivor benefit.
And that's why we talk about that. Because again, people look at it and go, I want that benefit now, but wait a minute though, are we looking at the future, right? What if we lose a spouse? This is the stuff we're talking about. And to your point, I like that plan where one spouse takes the benefit, usually the lower one right away, but the other one potentially wait. I'm not talking about wait until 70, that doesn't fit everybody, but you're looking at it for three reasons. Number one, you're leaving a survivorship benefit for your spouse because the lower benefit goes away. Number two, there's a tax preference. And number three, the survivor benefit as well too. But let's talk about taxes. Let's talk about taxes because when your tax situation is going to change, where you're going from married filing jointly to single status.
Right, and you have the year the spouse passes away to file married filing jointly. So that comes with higher, just higher income brackets, the doubled or two, standard deductions available to you. So you have that first year, and then once you go to filing single, it's reducing, you're getting one standard deduction, and the income brackets are lower at each level of income.
That's right, that's a big one. So one of the things, folks, that we have done in the past is we have looked at Roth conversions, because again, when you take a look at a single versus a married filing jointly, the game's gonna change there.
Right, and it all depends on your income mix, but if the Social Security, the combined Social Security benefits, you keep 75% of it, lose 25% of it, that's still a higher amount. You're not splitting the Social Security in half.
Right.
If the benefits weren't equal. If we have any sort of pension survivorship or loss of pension, just depending what was claimed when they took it, but you are going to hit those income levels earlier filing single.
And so that may be a reason why we look at a Roth conversion that year. Potentially, right? If that makes sense, because we do a lot of these episodes, and so where most people's wealth is in their home and in their IRA 401k. But with those IRA 401ks, they're also subject to the required minimum distribution. When we turn 73 or up to 75, you're forced to start tapping into that. Does a Roth conversion make sense? You just mentioned pensions. Did your spouse have a survivorship benefit on your pension? We work with a lot of federal employees where health insurance is tied to that pension. So again, that's something else that you want to take a look at, because are you getting 100% survivor of what your spouse was receiving, or 50%, 75, what is it?
That's why hopefully everyone was involved in the initial decision. You evaluated kind of all options, made the best decision for you.
Right.
But yeah, once a spouse passes, the prior election is finished for the most part.
That's right. That's right. And again, that's why we encourage all of you, whoever you use. I mean, for clients that use us, we feel that it's important that you have a plan. Meaning, what is health insurance going to look like when you retire? When can you retire? I mean, that's a big one. And also, are we emotionally ready to retire? The other question is what is your income plan? When do you take Social Security? What does your IRA 401k look like? Meaning in terms of withdrawal, a withdrawal strategy. And also not only that, but how do you save money in taxes? I mean, this is why we talk about especially with this episode of losing a spouse, especially if that spouse is not involved in this process, that you have a team member for them to fall back on. I encourage everybody to make sure they have a financial plan in place. Not only that, but we'll talk about estate planning next. But Tommy, I mean, that's what we do here.